So at the 12.5 minute mark, my camera shut off, but we were just finishing with all the rest of the eyes, ears, and mouth. We were about to move on to the chest and the heart and the lungs. So now would be a good time to show you around my room so you can see. We don't have any notes or anything out. My children's books, my otoscope, ophthalmoscope, my instruments, some tissues, and the rest of the room. So you can see that there is nothing else going on. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to listen to her lung sounds. I'm going to start posteriorly. That way when I move to the front, we can listen again and just continue on with the heart. So I'm going to use the diaphragm of my stethoscope and listen in multiple areas. I'm going to start on the left and move to the right on the same side so I can do a comparison at the same spots. Take a deep breath in and good. 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 Okay, good. So posterior auscultation, I did not notice any crackles, any rales, any rhonchi, any wheezing. I did not notice any abnormal breath sounds posteriorly. One thing I will do is I'm just going to kind of palpate back there and make sure it doesn't feel like there's any fluid back there where it doesn't belong. So I'm just going to kind of tap back here. And while I was listening, I was also making a note of the symmetry of the chest rise and the fall. So while I was listening, I was able to look as well at the same time. Everything was rising and falling together, symmetrically. So now I'm just going to palpate back there to make sure I didn't miss any lumps, bumps, anything like that. Do you have any pain when I'm touching?
Nope.
No? Okay. So, no pain to palpation. I did not feel any bumps, lumps, masses, anything irregular to the back. I'm going to listen to her lung sounds anteriorly. One more here. Good. Good. Raise that arm up for me. Good. One more. Good. Listening to her breath sounds anteriorly I did not notice any abnormal rubs. I did not notice any crackles, wheezes, anything abnormal or disadvantageous there. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of palpate her anterior chest. Make sure there's no lumps, bumps, or bruises. Any pain there? Okay, can you raise this arm up for me just a little bit? Any pain with palpation there? Pain with palpation there? Okay, good. Her thoracic cavity appears normal, sounds normal, nothing abnormal there. So now we're going to move on to her heart sounds. I will be listening with both the bell and the diaphragm for lung sounds. First we're going to start with the aortic valve, pulmonic valves. We're going to find Ebb's point. Gonna do the mitral and tricuspid valves. Okay. So for the to listen aortic, I'm gonna find the second and third intercostal space. I want that to be sternally so I can hear the aortic. I'm going to flip that over and listen with the belt. Good. So that was aortic. Now we're just going to move over to the left side of the chest at the same intercostal space and do pulmonic. Going to listen with both sides again. Good. Going to move on down to the Ebb's point, which is the third and fourth intercostal space, and that is going to be mid-clavicular. Okay. Very good. Just going to listen to the other side. Now, to find an Ebb's point, we're going to go down to the fourth intercostal space, and it's going to be mid-clavicular.
Which one?
Ebb's point.
Oh, that would be different.
Oh. Okay. So then I guess we just did Ebb's point. We'll do the mitral valve. So that's going to be the fourth and fifth intercostal space, mid-clavicular. So. Listen to both sides. Listen to the other side.
Should I?
All right. And then last but not least, we're going to listen to the tricuspid valve, which is the fifth intercostal space going back more towards the sternal border. Pardon my reach. All of the heart tones were noted. They were nice and clear. There were S1s and S2s present. There were no S3s, 4s, murmurs, runs, rubs, or anything abnormal. As I was listening, to the aortic and the pulmonic. I did notice that the S2 appeared to be a little bit stronger. When I got to the Ebbs point, I did appreciate the fact that the S1 and the S2 were pretty much equal in sound. And then as I got to the mitral and the tricuspid valves, the S1 was a little more pronounced or defined. And I do believe that concludes our cardiac portion. To the heart sounds. The last thing that we're going to do is we're going to check pulses to make sure that she has a nice strong pulses and make sure that there's no irregularities there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to just kind of work our way down from head to toe. So I'm going to check